Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for a video response episode today. Been a little while since I hopped in on one of these VRs, but wanted to get in on one being put on by my hobby pal, Pepino Man. So he has been sick of kind of the negativity in the hobby of late, which honestly I hadn't noticed too much of. I'm not on a lot of social media platforms other than YouTube, so I kind of tune out a lot of that noise, but Pepino mentioned there's just been a lot of negativity of late and wanted to kind of get some positive vibes out there in his YouTube channel feed. So he has put together a video response called PSA Dreaming. And what he wants you to do is list one card that you'd want to get PSA slabbed in every grade from 1 through 10. So it's a pretty cool idea. Had never really considered anything like that. And as I talk through my list of 10, I actually pulled some PSA slabs myself to show you as we get through. So I collect slabbed PSA cards I have for many years, but I'm not trying to get the best example of any card that I pick up. So I'm sort of an oddity in that I enjoy grading and I enjoy slabs, but I don't really pursue PSA 10s or really even high grade cards. So as a result, I have basically every grade you could think of covered in my collection. So pulled some here to look at as we talk through. So starting off, we have, obviously, we're just going to go in order, 1 through 10, PSA 1. So here's a PSA 1 that we can look at for reference here while I'm talking this through. This is a Diamond Stars Lefty Grove from my Red Sox Diamond Stars team set. Ones are kind of beat up usually, but this one actually looks kind of good. I really don't mind this card, and just an example that you can get PSA 1s that actually look pretty darn nice. So the PSA 1 that I would want to pick up if I could have a card in a PSA 1 would be a Walter Johnson from his playing era. So maybe like a T206 Walter Johnson or something like that. Don't have any slabbed playing era cards of Big Train, and he is, definitely one of the best pitchers in the history of baseball. So just like this Hall of Fame PSA 1 pitcher, would love to get a Walter Johnson in there someday. PSA 2. Here's an example of a 2 from my own collection. A good 2. This is Bill Kerrigan on a nice caramel card from the turn of the century. As far as my own collection, pretty easy choice for me in a PSA 2. Would love a Mickey Mantle 1952 Topps card. And that's one that I know Pepino himself would stand behind. Obviously, as a fellow Mickey Mantle fan and Mickey Mantle collector, he knows full well, as all of us do, that is the toughest mantle to get in your collection. And for me, I'm really trying to focus on my 1950s baseball this year and going forward. And that is the single biggest card from the 50s that I need and probably always will be. So that was my choice for PSA 2, the Mick. PSA 3 up next. Here's one from my own collection. This is a nice 55 Topps Ted Williams. And as far as a PSA 3 that I'd want to buy, sticking with, the theme of big cards from the 50s that I need, would probably try to go for a 51 Bowman Mays, Willie Mays. So the true rookie card of one of the best players ever to swing a bat, the Say Hey Kid. That would be my choice for a PSA 3 slab in this dream scenario. Next up, PSA 4. And here's a PSA 4 from my own collection, a nice 65 Hammer and Hank. And this card just goes to show you that not all grades are created equal. If I could find PSA 4s that looked like this regularly, it's probably the only grade I'd ever buy. I don't think I'd ever buy anything more than a 4. Fantastic looking card there. As far as the 4 that I'd want to add to my collection if I could, I would just stick with the theme here of most expensive 50s cards that I'm missing. Already covered the 52 Mantle, the 51 Mays. Well, for a PSA 4, I guess I'd want to grab the 51 Bowman Mantle as well. Just round out kind of that trio of huge 50s baseball cards that I am missing. Next up, PSA 5, and I chose a non-sport card here from my own PC to show off the PSA 5 slab. This is a nice Elvis Rockin' On Stage card. Was inspired to get this one by my buddy Eric over at Those Back Pages. He had a 50s Elvis slab in the background of his videos for a long time. And if I was going to get a PSA 5 card for this dream list of mine, I would get a 1957 Topps Roberto Clemente. And the reason being, love the 57 Topps release. 50s baseball is definitely a theme of this list that I've put together. And I have a couple of other big cards from the 57 set, baseball set, that are already in PSA 5. So it kind of made sense to try to get the Clemente from that one. Next up, we have PSA 6, and the 6 slab that I chose to show off is my Mario Lemieux O-Pee-Chee rookie card. So pretty cool one here. Haven't talked really about hockey at all so far in the VR, and we'll change that here with that Mario. And similarly to that Lemieux, if I was going to pick out a hockey card to get in a PSA 6, I would try to get one from the year that follows this card, the 1986 O-Pee-Chee Patrick Roy rookie card of the Montreal Canadiens. That's one that I would love to add to my hockey PC someday, and I think 6 would be a good grade for that one because it's a pretty expensive card on the O-Pee-Chee front. Next up, we have PSA 7, and here's one that I got in the early days of the channel from my buddy Jeremy over at Jeremy IPTTM. Nice Bogarts purple chrome refractor out of Topps Heritage with Jonathan Scope. And as far as the PSA 7 that I would want for this VR, I would go with a 1969 Topps Reggie Jackson rookie card, the straw that stirs the drink, or stirred the drink anyway, in New York in the late 70s. One of the most clutch hitters of all time, and chose that card for a PSA 7 because I have a few other 69 Topps of Hall of Famers that are in that grade, PSA 7. So I think a nice Reggie rookie in a 7 would look great alongside those. Next up, we have PSA 8, and picked another non-sport card here. This is my Darth Vader rookie card of sorts, the 1977 Topps Star Wars Dark Lord of the Sith card. Pretty nice PSA 8 there. Trying to show some of the variety in my slab collection here versus doing all baseball and hockey today. So there's an 8 from my PC. And if I had to get a new PSA 8 for the purpose of this contest, I would love a 1973 Topps Mike Schmidt rookie card in a PSA 8. He is one of the bigger baseball rookies that I lack in my collection, so would love to pick that one up. And speaking of big baseball rookies that I lack, here's a PSA 9 from my collection. I probably have more PSA 9s than like any other grade because I tend to buy modern graded cards in a 9 because I just don't want to pay the upcharge for a 10. So there's a nice Prince Albert that I got for dirt cheap in a 9. And the PSA 9 that I would want to add to my collection would be a 1980 Topps Rickey Henderson rookie. And that is on the list because affording that card in a 9 is no small feat. You're well up into the comma card territory, maybe even a couple thousand or more to get that in a 9. So if and when I do acquire that card, I'll probably be buying it in an 8 or a 7 or lower grade. But since this is a PSA Dreaming VR and I can have whatever I want in this virtual world for this video response, I would choose a Rickey Henderson rookie as my PSA 9. And then last but not least, PSA 10. And this was the toughest for me to show an example of, believe it or not. I have, I think, 2, maybe 3 PSA 10 cards in my entire collection of, hundreds, if not thousands of slabbed cards. And it's because I just don't put a premium on the 10. I'm happy to pick up 9s and 8s and lower grades to help my hobby dollars go further. But I do have a 10 that I got as a gift. So my wonderful wife, Mrs. Shoebox Legends, got me this for Christmas a few years back because I had this card on my want list on my sports card blog. Was going after a lot of these retired image variations at the time. So she took the time to find this off my want list and buy me this card for Christmas. Now, I didn't necessarily need or want a slabbed version, but she ponied up and went right for the best and got me this sweet PSA 10 of Lou Gehrig. So pretty awesome. I don't have like a playing days, Lou Gehrig at all in the collection. So this is a thoughtful addition from Mrs. Shoebox Legends that I definitely prize because of that. And that is one of the only 10s that I could find to show for this VR. But to wrap things up, if I was to get any card in a PSA 10 for the purposes of this VR, I would go for the 2011 Topps Update Mike Trout, number US 175 in the PSA 10. Don't have that card, at least not in base card form, and that's one that's just eluded me over the years. I've, like many collectors, told myself, I just don't want to pay that much for a base card. And I've continued to say that as I've watched the price on it just climb and climb and climb over the years. And that is definitely well up into comma card territory now if you find it in a gem mint 10. So the Mike Trout US 175 would be my choice for my PSA 10. So that is my list. That is my PSA dreaming kind of countdown there for Pepino. This was a really cool VR. I appreciate you throwing it out there and happy to participate. Really enjoying watching all of your responses as well. And we'll call it a day and kind of wrap it up there. So thanks, Pepino, and to everybody else. Appreciate you stopping by to check out kind of some of my slabs and listen to my dream PSA list. Until next time, happy collecting and stay safe.